So, good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and Volmer. So, just bear with me one moment whilst we try and sort a few bits out. And I'll see what's going on in the world. Bear with me one moment. I'm just trying to get everything set up. So, today is about the Hornby Class 60. And bear with me one moment and we'll see if we've gone. Here we go. Right. So, I just want to get you set up onto my big screen, and hopefully any chat will be on the screen, and then I can chat to you about it. So let's see what is right. Let's have a look here. Right, anyway, so today is about the Hornby Class 60. Now, I did sort of say that I was going to do a video on my Class 60 because recently I ordered some speakers from Roads and Rails, and they took their time, but they finally got here, and basically I finally received them, and I decided to fit them into my Class 60 because I specifically bought them for my Class 60 because basically the sound that came with the TTS I wasn't particularly happy with. And so what I decided to do is I wanted to order some speakers to basically improve the sound. And what I'd ordered previously is I'd originally had a Class 60 with a mega bass speaker. And this is one of these big square ones that you get from Roads and Rails. And that worked really, really well. However, in order to fit them in, you had to remove part of the engine compartment within the 60 because the body would sit too high and then it would just rock and then you couldn't. Hello, Alan. Welcome to the stream. And Paul Higgins, welcome to the stream as well. And good, that means it's come up on my big screen. So basically, just to literally say, so I ordered these speakers, and I decided to order some different speakers because I was quite curious to see whether or not these speakers were any good. And they were labelled and sold as bass enhanced speakers. And I never tried them before, and obviously those of you who run TTS will know that basically TTS needs an 8-ohm speaker. So you have to be quite specific about the speakers you buy for them to make sure that they work and that you don't ruin the chip or blow it up, rather. So the speaker that you get as standard, and I'll show you, is this little one here. This is kind of like your standard, bog standard Hornby speaker that you get with the Hornby TTS chips. Some of the, I think the 37s and the 47s even come with the round ones, but this is the one that you generally get. The one that I got from Roads and Rails this time round is this one. And if I put them side by side, you can see that there's quite a big difference between the two. And the reason why I bought this one is because, like I said, the mega bass speaker was a fantastic speaker, but it just wouldn't sit properly inside the loco without actually taking some of the engine parts apart. And I didn't really fancy doing that this time round. So I bought this speaker here on the basis that it was an 8-ohm speaker. It said it was bass enhanced and it was smaller. So in theory, I wouldn't need to take any of the engine components out. So I'm just going to take you now to the other side on the layout. Right, so here we go. Oh, we have 1, 2, and 3. So we have 3 60s. So this one here, the one on the left, this one here, this is your TTS fitted sound from Hornby. So this is actually already came and bought brand new with sound. This one here has also got TTS sound in it, but has got the new and improved speaker in that one. And on the Colas one, which is one we'll be looking at today, is the one with the standard speaker in it. And that's got no enhancements whatsoever. So I thought what I'd do is we do an interesting little experiment here. Now I'm going to talk to you about an app. And basically, let me see. Let me get it up for you. And here is the app. So this is called Soundmeter. And it's a free app that I got from Google. And as you can see, as I'm talking along and everything like that, you can see the decibels going up and down. And you can see the graph. Here's the max, here's the average, and here's the minimum. So you can sort of see, in a roughly scientific way, just sort of how good that these speakers are. So if we start with this one, the Colas, I'm going to put it there. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to see if I can drop this down a bit more so it's a bit more clearer. So bear with me a minute. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so bear with me a sec. So we'll start here with the Colas 60. Now I'm just going to do it the same with all of them, just so you can see. And I'm going to just be quiet for a moment, and I'm going to let the decibel level drop, and then we'll fire it up, and you'll see the graph just sort of straight line a little bit. So as you can see, it maxed out at 81.4, and it's currently averaging at 49.7, but it's going up. Just so you can see how good that the speaker is. So it's rather crude, but I mean, it does work. And it comes across as busy traffic, so that's kind of how it sort of says it's, you know, how high the level is. But it's not quite on the red. So I'm going to shut that down. Now, I should say that I checked the CV levels 161 for the master volume, and this one and this one are both on level 7 on CV 161 for the master volume. The Hornby TTS version, I actually upped to 6. Now I've left it on 6 just to demonstrate. So now I'm going to go to the one with the bass enhanced speaker. And again, I'm just going to let the graph just drop down and then I'll fire it up, okay? So as you can see, we've let it settle down and it's maxed out at 81.8. So it's only a fractionally higher than the standard speaker. And this is with that little bass enhanced speaker. So that's supposedly the improved speaker. Now, what I would say about this little speaker is if you listen to the horns, you'll definitely see that there's a clarity. So I'm just going to shut this down. So we've maxed out at 81.8 on this one. So our next one is Dolo, and this is the Hornby standard fitted class 60. So this is the one that just generally came already pre-fitted with sound, and all I've done to this is raise it the level of the sound. But this was originally a on level 4, which is the default, and I raised it to level 6. Now, bearing in mind that the other two were raised to level 7, let's see what the max output is. So I'm just going to let the graph drop down. So as you can see, this is on level 6 sound volume, and on the Hornby pamphlet it goes from 0 to 8. 0 is the quietest, 8 is the loudest, and this is on sound level 6, and it's near enough matching the 6000100, I should say, and this is on level 6 sound. So it's very interesting. So I'm just going to fire up the other one. I'm just going to go over to the coalesce. So what do I think? They're all three of them are running. So this one's got the standard speaker. This one has the Roads and Rails bass enhanced speaker, not the square one, but I'll show you that one again. This little one. And this one here, Dolo, is the factory fitted one. So I'm assuming that that one's also got that little speaker in it. Now, for me, a good way of checking is as I shut them down. I'm just going to shut, what's that not shut down? That one's going to be shut down. So I'm just shutting them all down because I just wanted to show you and demonstrate to you, to me, what kind of makes a good speaker anyway. At least in my view anyway. I'm just waiting for them to all shut down. Right, we're all shut down. So we'll start with this one here. And I'm going to fire up the horns. Don't know what you think. We'll then go to this one. I don't know if you heard the difference there, but that seemed a lot more deeper. It did seem a bit deeper and it did seem a bit clearer. Let's go to this one. You can hear different. There's definitely a difference between all three of them. And this one definitely sounds a bit more sort of tinny, a bit more kind of, you know, it doesn't sound as good. Whereas this one, with the bass enhanced speaker, definitely sounds deeper, definitely sounds clearer. This is the factory one. So I would say that between the two speakers, between that one, which is your standard one, and this is the one that I got off of Richard from Roads and Rails, I would say that that one is better. Not because of its, I wouldn't say because of its sound level, I just think it's just more deeper and clearer. But not by a huge amount, but you can definitely notice the difference. What I would say is it proves the point that different locos require different speakers, because this particular 60s definitely require the mega bass speaker, the square ones that you get, not these two. I mean, I think this is as I suspected was going to be, a medium compromise between this one and the mega bass speaker, the big square one. But this one obviously fits with no problem at all. Whereas with the mega bass speaker, it's going to be more tricky. So the next thing to do is we're going to come back. I'm going to spin you around. There we go. So let me just bring you back. All right, here we go. So bear with me one moment. Oh, Right. My apologies for this, everybody. All right, let's just get you like that, and then you can sort of get you a bit closer. Right. So the next thing to do is to get into one of these and replace the speaker that's in here. I am going to do it, although, like I said, I just think it's a lot clearer. I don't think there's a huge amount in it. Hello, Collins, Engage, welcome to the stream. I don't think there's a huge amount in it, but I think it's still well worth doing. So we're now going to get into the Hornby Class 60, and then I can show you the insides, as it were, if any of you are interested in buying one of these. Now, this is a bit like the 50, where you have to be a bit careful with some of the bits underneath. Oops, there you go, let me show you, to make sure you don't ruin them. But it is a clip-on. So hopefully, you do have to be a little bit careful round this part. So just do that. Just get into that one. Slide it in. And then hopefully, yeah, that's gone. That one's gone as well. And that should just pop off like so. Now this is one of the newer Hornby 60s. And what I mean by that is the original Hornby 60s, oh no, that needs to come to me so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go, it's a bit more better. And in fact, I'm going to drop you down a bit more, so bear with me a minute so you can see what I'm doing. There you go, so that should be a little bit nearer. And you can see now, right, there you go. Right, so you can now see what the Hornby 60 looks like inside. And basically, as you can see, this is the way it goes. And you can probably make out that here is a recess where the sound of the speaker goes. But when you put a mega bass speaker into here, the big square one, it comes up too high. So that means when you put the body back on, the body will rock because it will only fit in one way or another. So the other place to put it would be at this end. Now, in order to fit it at this end, which is what I did before, you had to take this bit of the engine compartment out. And there was also another bit. Now this just clips in, so it's not too difficult to remove. The problem is that I didn't particularly want to feel like doing that. So, because I just wanted to keep it, I didn't want to start losing bits and pieces. And if I wanted to come to sell it, you know, I didn't want to sell it with parts missing and everything like that, or lost or damaged or broken. So that's why I thought I'd try this little bass enhanced little speaker, you know. And as you can see already, that I've already fitted the speaker here, and that's basically this speaker, but upside down. So the sound went down, and then you've got the sound decoder there. So I'm just going to remove that speaker, and it's held on with some white tack. So I'm just going to pop the, let me just get a screwdriver. There we go, finally get there. Right, so that comes off, and that comes off. Right, so for now, we'll just concentrate, just put the body, just drop it on the top, and I'll put that over here, out of the way. There's a number of ways you can do this. And I'm going to switch the lights on so I can actually see what I'm doing. You can either just snip this off and then put this onto it and solder it like that, or you can desolder it. It depends, but bearing in mind you haven't got a huge amount of wire to play with down at this end. So I have done it both ways, to be honest, before. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same, because I can't really be too bothered. I like to leave a little bit on the end. And the reason why I like to leave a little bit on the end of the cable is in case for whatever reason I want to reuse this speaker, I can sort of see where the red one goes and which one the black one goes to. So next thing to do is remove that, and we'll remove that. I am paying attention to the chat if anyone's saying anything. I just wanted to so that's kind of that done. Like I said, I think ideally I would have put a mega bass speaker into this, if I'm being honest, but because it did sound great with the mega bass speaker in it, but I really didn't want to have to hack at the body or at the insides, the engine compartment. That was kind of my sort of thing. For those of you who are wondering, I do actually have one of these wire cutters, but these wires are so fine that the wire cutters don't actually get into it. So that's that. So then it does come with this little connector, but you just chop that off. And then on this one, the other one I didn't have to unwind it or anything, but on this one I do. So let's just undo that. Just to take a few turns out of that. And I'll take another one. Right, let's see. I think this one's slightly thicker. Let's see if this one. No, this one's not going either, so it's too thin. So it's a bit of a tricky job, this. Trying to find. Oh, there we go. There's a bit. Like I said, that wire cutter isn't thin enough. That's what happens when you've got these. Ah, here we go. Right, there's one. Finally, that didn't take long. Let's try that one. It's only got a little bit. Hi Andy, welcome to the stream. Right, so that's what we've got there. I'm going to unwind this a bit more. So basically, for those of you just joining, I'm basically fitting a new speaker to my Class 60. And we're going to see how we get on with that. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a little piece of heat shrink. and we're going to feed this through. Right, so that's all the way through. That's cool. And we got some flux, and we got some solder. So now I've got that, I can now do some. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat in case there's anyone asking anything. Just make sure that that is where it needs to be. That's it. There we go. There's the kitty. Right. So let's drop a little bit of solder onto this. Right. And have the tip cleaned. Clean the tip, it's always good. Right, that's it done. Then I can spin that round in there. And there we go. So that's that done. And now I'm just going to heat shrink using the back of the that should secure that. So now we've got the black wire to do. So another piece of heat shrink. Hi, I'm in College Trains. Yeah, to be honest, Alan, I originally got that Soundmeter because of the issues I was having with my neighbours downstairs. And those of you who remember, I did have some issues with my neighbours downstairs when they were saying I was making too much noise. So I was interested to see just how much noise those trains were producing. And so I decided to go on the old Google Play and have a look to see if there was a way of finding out. So I downloaded this Soundmeter app through Google, I think it was, and just to see. And the nice thing about that app is it sort of, if it's quiet, it will say, "Oh, quiet library," which so basically in very plain, simple terms, it will tell you how loud the sound is. I mean, because sometimes you look at the decibel levels and you kind of wonder, what does that mean in terms of how high it is? Is that good or is it bad, or how high is it? So that's why I did that originally. It wasn't actually for the railway. It's actually just because I was kind of interested to find out. So now that should be it. And that should be it. Run the so in theory, that should be it. So where is our 60 bodies over there? So I'm going to put that on the floor. Don't want to inadvertently whack the soldering iron onto the body, because that wouldn't be a good thing to do. And like I said, I was going to use the big mega bass speakers, but as you can see, if you've got a sound chip, say from Legoman Biffo or from one of the others, that needs a 4 ohm speaker, there's plenty of space here to put an IC-M1 in there or EM2. But when you've got Hornby speakers, Hornby TTS decoders, they require 8 ohm speakers, then you are a bit limited. And the Mega Bass square box speakers are big and they really work really fantastically well for this Leica. Unfortunately, you can't fit it in here, although it looks like there's plenty of space, because of the way the interior of the body is. That drops down. Yeah. So you can see that that gets in the way, and that's not something that you can Dremel out or cut out to make it fit. So you just got to live with that. So now we'll put the we'll put this back in there. Right, it's in there. Right, so again, what I would do is I would actually going to put this like that, facing down. That's what I did with the other one. So what we'll do is I'm just going to just put it in like that for now, and just to test it basically. And I'm just going to drop the body on it. I'm not going to do anything with it like that. I'm just going to literally drop that on there just so it's secure. And then afterwards, once I'm happy with the fact that the sound actually works, this is just purely just to test to see if the sound works. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to just spin you around and take it to the layout. Right. And once again, I'm going to have to drop you down. So I drop you, take you up. And okie dokie, right, so like I said, I'm not particularly interested at this point whether or not the body sits right. I'm just interested in the fact that the sound actually works. Now, as you can probably see, I don't know if you can see on this, but the lights are on. Now, this is something where before with the old Hornbys, you used to have like the contacts, and this is one of the improvements of the Hornby, the new Hornby. Hello, Dagmar Junction, of the new Hornby 60, is the fact that because we've got these wires plugged in, you don't have to worry about the connections being in the right place. So let me just see. So I think we can safely say that that is much more of an improvement to the original speaker. I'm just waiting for it to cut out completely. Come on. Right, so we can now take this off the layer. There we go. Right, back down here again. Right, just so I don't have to keep cranking you up. There we go, bring you back around here. So there's plenty of space for this speaker, and there's plenty of space for the original speaker. But the Mega Bass speaker, you just can't put it in anywhere because, like I said, it's not going to fit my body properly unless you take this bit out of the engine compartment, which I've done before. So I'd never actually tried these speakers before, so this is the first time I've tried them. Would I buy some more? It's hard to say really, to be honest. I think the iPhone speakers are pretty good. And this one it's okay, but I just think it is better than the standard speaker. It's definitely a halfway house. Let me put it to you that way. It's definitely halfway between the Mega Bass speaker and the I put it here because this is where it's at its widest point. And then the sound can travel down through the bogey and out through the bottom. So that's how I do it anyway. And then that can go in there. And again, just put a bit of blue tack in there. Because the problem is it might fall down because it's quite narrow. So it might fall down through the gap, and I don't want it to get caught in the drive shaft or anything like that. And also, I guess, in fact, what I'm going to do with that is just to keep it. Bear with me a moment, everybody. Oh, I can't find it. But yes, that will go in there. Right, so, and I can just put it like that. The thing is, that's all sticking up there anyway, so it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. Hello, Ian Johnston. Welcome to the stream. Right, we're in. Right, so the 60's back together again, and that is now done. So I'm now going to just pop you back to layout. Sorry if I keep switching you around. And let's fire up again. See, to me, I still don't think there's a huge amount in it, if I'm being honest. However, I think the clarity is better. But like I said, I think, in all honesty, I'd actually put the Mega Bass speakers back into it, the big ones. Get a much better sound than this. But this is still good sound. It's still better than an improvement on the original. But I still think that the other one is a bit better. I mean, at some point, I may very well actually redo the speakers. And let's just get the old... I'm just going to shut this down again. We'll get the old Soundmeter app out again. Right, just bring that more into shot. So we'll just put the Soundmeter app here, and I'm going to wait for the graph just to drop off. think you can actually. Let me see if you can actually. 81.9. So if you hit this button here, that will refresh it and reset it. So that is 81.9 that it's reached at its max. So it's definitely an improvement to what it was before, but again, I don't think it's a huge amount of an improvement. So once again, I'll do the same again with the other two, just so you can see it. So this is on volume set number 7 for the Hornby TTS CV161. Just gonna spin you around. It will take you a bit round closer. So we're now going to take you to the one in the middle. And like I said, you can, oops, hang on a minute. So that button there this button here will refresh it. So I'll refresh it and you should see that go. So that's showing 82.2. So that one's slightly louder than that one, and it's the same speaker. And they're both set at the same volume level at level 7. So we'll shut that one down. So if I move you over to the TTS one, oops, let's just zoom you back out. That's it. I don't know if you can see it. My apologies. Just refresh it. So that one's maxed out at 81.2. And the interesting thing, for those of you who missed it earlier on, this particular one is the TTS sound one, the factory fitted TTS sound one. And this is on sound level 6, not 7, but 6, and it's putting out 81.2 decibels. The other two that I've just done on level 7 sound, and they are putting out just ever so slightly higher. So I'm just kind of wondering if I was to put this up to level 7, what the decibel level would be, whether it be higher than those two. Do you reckon I should try it? Let's try it. So I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to take this one off the layout. I'm going to up the CV level to 7, and then we're going to see what the maximum decibel level is on this one. So bear with me 1 minute. Okay, everyone, so I've now upped the volume to match the others. So let's see what the factory fitted TTS sounds like on level 7 and whether it beats the other two. So let me just refresh it. So it comes up at 81.5 decibels. So it almost matches the other two. But if you hear the sound of the speaker of the horn, I'll shut it down. And I think this is where the other two win. So I'm just going to wait for that to shut down. Right, so let's just remove that. So let's hear the horn. It's not bad. The coalesce. You can see it's definitely deeper. It's definitely clearer. And I think that's where these speakers have got the edge. So that's what I think, which is why I've swapped it over. Because although there's not much in it between the standard speaker and this speaker, it just has the edge over in terms of clarity. So that's, let me just move you over here. Right. So that pretty much concludes the video. I don't know if it was interesting to some or not. I found it quite interesting. For those of you, bear with me a minute. Let me just, there we go. Right. So for those of you who are interested, let me just shove you down a bit. In the app, it's called Soundmeter. You get it off of Google Play. And if I just kind of show it to you like this, it's always constantly recording, and it will give you the decibels, the minimum and the maximum, and the graph and the average. Now, like I said, you can pause it and you can refresh it if you want to start again. Just do that. And it's just a bit of an unscientific way, but it's quite handy to have, and it's quite a useful little app actually. So this is on my old phone, so you can still so you can basically, it's okay, Alan, if you want to rewatch it. So it's a great little, like for example, if you just wanted to sort of see and get a bass level for all your locos, for example. Say for example, a lot of your locos are Hornby TTS, and you wanted them to be all at the same level, you just put them all at the same level 4 or whatever. But you can sort of see roughly whether or not certain speakers are maybe slightly stronger than others. Clearly, although if I didn't have the app, it might not seem like there's a huge amount of difference in the standard speaker and the Rhodes and Rail speaker, you can clearly tell by this little app here that it is actually marginally better. I think that speaker is not particularly, my own personal opinion is that speaker is not particularly suited to the 60. I'd say it was suited to some other locomotives, maybe the 67, maybe even the 66, or even the 20. But anything with a bit of throat, like the 37, like the 50s, like the 60s, I don't really think that speaker is really particularly suitable. Don't get me wrong, it's a decent enough speaker, but I don't think it's particularly great for the 60. I was hoping that it would be. He did say it's a bass enhanced, and I think there's a little bit of bass enhancement in that speaker, but I don't think it's enough to sort of say I'd personally go for the mega bass big square ones. But the problem is, like I said, with that, as you can see from the body, that trying to fit it in, you'd have to fit it in at the end where the engine compartment is, and remove the top section of that in order to basically drop the speaker in so you can level out the body and refit the body. Otherwise the body just won't sit level, and that's something that I was trying to avoid, which is why I went for these particular speakers instead of the big mega bass ones. But at the end of the day, you know, you take your money, you pay your choice, and you know, you just sort of use what you think is suitable for you. I think it's an improvement to what it was, but you know, like I said, it is what it is. So I'm sorry if it isn't the most interesting. I found it quite interesting because I felt that there wasn't much in it, and I was actually expecting more from that particular speaker than what I actually got. And it was, as I suspected, it is a bit of a middle ground between the standard speaker and the mega bass square one, but it's just still not quite deep enough. But yeah, and like I said, if you want to fancy doing some experiments, just check out the Soundmeter app. Like I said, you get it from Google, and if it's still there, I'm assuming it's still there because I've had this app for some time now. Or you can get various apps which are very similar that will probably sort of give you some readings, and you'll be able to see for yourself. So until the next time, everybody, it's thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and it's bye till next time, everybody. Toodaloo. Bye.